The USA just beat Panama 4-1 in their World Cup opener. The crowd went crazy, the highlights are everywhere, and right now the entire country thinks this team is unstoppable. But there's a trap sitting right in front of this squad, and almost nobody is talking about it. So here's what this video is actually about. The USA has a real path to going deep in this tournament, but there are specific structural reasons why they might not. Not because they're a bad team, because of how World Cups work, because of what the data is showing, and because of patterns that have quietly ended host nation dreams for the last 28 years. I've been digging through the numbers and the bracket mechanics on this one, and some of what I found genuinely surprised me. Let's get into it. Start with something that got almost zero airtime after that Panama game. The USA has not kept a clean sheet in 9 straight matches going into this tournament. 9. A team that can't keep the ball out of their own net is a team that can be punished the moment things get tight. In a knockout game where one goal changes everything, that's not a fun stat to be sitting on. And it matters even more because of how Pochettino's system works. High press, high energy, push numbers forward. That style is brilliant against teams who want to play out from the back. But a team that's happy to sit deep, absorb pressure, and hit you on the counter, that's the exact blueprint to expose it. And here's the thing, you're about to see exactly that. Australia beat Turkey in match week 1 with 28% possession. They had 201 passes. Turkey had 635. On paper, Turkey completely controlled the game, but Australia won because they didn't care about the ball. They cared about the moments when they had it. The USA's press is designed for a team that plays back at them. A team willing to just let them have the ball and wait? That's a different problem entirely. But that's important, and we'll come back to it. Because the bracket situation is actually even stranger than most people realize. Winning Group D doesn't automatically mean an easier path. Most people assume finishing first is always better. It isn't. A group winner in this new 48-team format avoids the runner-up from their own group in the round of 32. But they can end up facing a third-place team that survived a brutal group of death. Meanwhile, a runner-up might draw a weaker second-place side. And here's the part that makes this genuinely chaotic. There are 495 different possible bracket combinations for how third-place teams get seeded. 495. The USA literally cannot know who they're playing in the round of 32 until every single group game across the entire tournament is finished. No other team sport on the planet has this level of bracket uncertainty. The group stage isn't just about winning, it's about navigating a puzzle where you don't even see all the pieces until the last second. And speaking of the last group game, Turkey. This is the one people are sleeping on. They beat the USA 2-1 last summer, on American soil. In a friendly, they're ranked 14th in ELO ratings. And the USA's final group game against them will almost certainly come after qualification is already secured, which means rotation, which means overconfidence, which means exactly the kind of trap that has ended teams before. Turkey isn't a banana skin. They're a proper football team who has already shown they can beat this exact squad. And if you needed more evidence that the easy game no longer exists at this tournament, Spain and Portugal were both held to draws in match week 1. Spain drew with Cape Verde. Portugal drew with DR Congo. Even Curacao kept Germany level for 17 minutes. The gap between the big nations and the smaller ones is closing faster than the rankings suggest. A 48-team World Cup means more of these teams have been playing competitive football for years just to qualify. They're not here to make up the numbers. Now there's a bigger pattern underneath all of this that I think is genuinely underappreciated. No host nation has won the World Cup since France in 1998. That's 26 years. South Korea, Germany, South Africa, Brazil, Russia, Qatar, all hosted, none won. The home advantage story the media keeps pushing is fighting a quarter century of evidence pointing the other way. And the USA's own history as a host isn't exactly reassuring either. In 1994, they squeaked through the group stage as one of the best third-place teams, with help from other results. They didn't dominate, they survived. Home pressure is real, and it doesn't always feel like an advantage when 80,000 people are watching you and expecting a miracle. But here's the one that genuinely stopped me when I looked it up. The USA has not won a knockout game at the World Cup since 2002. That's 24 years. A tournament that started in an era when people were still using dial-up internet. In the modern World Cup, they've made it past the round of 16 exactly once. The group stage isn't where American World Cup dreams have died. The knockout stage is. And this year, for the first time in World Cup history, the finalists will play 8 games instead of 7. 8. Pochettino's high-energy pressing system across 8 knockout intensity matches is a serious physical question that nobody is asking out loud right now. If you're finding this useful, drop a comment with what you think the USA's biggest threat actually is. I'm genuinely curious whether people are thinking about the bracket chaos or just focused on the group stage. And if you want to go deeper on the 2026 format, changes, and how they're reshaping the tournament, there's a video right here that breaks all of that down. So here's where we actually are. The USA beat Panama 4-1, and that's real. This team has genuine talent, but the clean sheet problem hasn't gone away. The Turkey game is a trap hiding in plain sight. The bracket is more unpredictable than any World Cup in history. The home advantage narrative is fighting 28 years of data, and the knockout stage is where this program has consistently gone home. At the start of this video, the USA looked like a team riding a wave. They still might be. But the wave has some rocks underneath it that are worth knowing about before you get there. The fans who understand this stuff are going to watch the next few weeks very differently. And honestly, that makes it a lot more interesting.